Okay, I'm a little worried by how light this package is. It says potable game player. Potable game player.
Hey, I'm Alana, and today we're gonna be doing a little bit of shopping. I've been in the market for a Switch for a while now. At the start of quarantine, I sort of took over my fiance's Switch, but now that he's starting to play more and more, I think it's time your girl asserted her independence, got her own. But your girl's stimulus check never dropped in her direct deposit, so until that stimmy comes, we just gonna have to ball on a budget just a little bit. I have been seeing people having a whole bunch of success and some failures buying things on Wish. I've personally never purchased anything on Wish, so I'm a little bit skeptical about the site, but you know what? I figured, why not give it a try? This is gonna go bad. The plan is to find a Nintendo Switch or a Switch dupe on Wish, purchase it, compare it to the real thing, and then assess whether or not it was worth the purchase. I'm seeing some promising ones. This one's it looks like the actual Switch, but it's over $200. We wanna go lower. We trying to go lower than that. What about this one? Whew. This is the 2021
new upgrade, X19 4.3 5.1-inch handheld gaming console with PS4 game control, 8GB ROM built-in, 20,000 plus free game support.
Okay, Nintendo Switch 4th PlayStation X7 Plus optional. Period. It's $42. Let's see, select size. I'm gonna go with the X7 Plus. Only because this is promising quick shipping and I want this now. I need this now. All right, color select. I want it to feel like a Switch, so I'm gonna go with blue and red. Oh, the price went up. Well, $61 is still pretty good. All right, it's bought. Now we wait.
Okay, I'm a little worried by how light this package is. It says potable game player. Potable game player.
Okay, this is the X7 Plus portable game player. This device was delivered to me in about 2 days, which I think is pretty impressive. The back of the box has all of the specs. The device says it can support 8-bit to 128-bit games and supports TF or microSD cards, which means you can import additional games. This version of the device is single player, but you can still hook it up to your TV if you want an audience. The player comes with an RCA connector so you can hook it up to your TV, earphones, a USB charger, and a set of instructions. Now, the X7 Plus has a 5.1-inch screen. Wish did have a newer version, the X19, which was around 7 inches. That one would have been more comparable in size to the Switch, but that one wasn't available for quick shipping in the United States. Size aside, the feel and shape of the X7 Plus reminds me more of a PlayStation PSP than a Nintendo Switch. There's 2 power buttons at the top of the device, volume buttons, a charging port, a microSD slot, and a place to plug in headphones and hook the device up to a TV. There's only one L and R button on each side, unlike the real Switch, which has 2. Also, you can't put actual Switch games into the device. It ain't gonna work. Trust me, I tried. Also, one of the most iconic Switch feature is the removable controllers. The X7 Plus's controllers can't be separated from the device's screen. I also tried that. Did not work. It's a little retro, but you know what? I don't hate it. Because of the microSD slot, you can also store ebooks, music, photos, and videos on this too, which for $60 really isn't that bad. The player also comes with a few classic games, so I'm gonna hook it up to the TV to try it out.
This wire is so short. I feel like I have to huddle over the TV just to play this.
These graphics, yeah, the box made it seem like we were gonna get this crystal clear display, and this ain't it. But the gameplay is very nostalgic, so I'm not too mad. I'm not sure if it's just because it's an old game or if it's the device itself, but there's a tiny bit of lag. But I feel like with more practice on this, my timing will just get better. To be fair, I played the 1985 version of Mario on the Switch to compare it to the Mario gameplay on the X7 Plus. Looking at it side by side and keeping the price point in mind, the two are pretty similar. But also keeping the price point in mind, it's unlikely that these preloaded games are officially licensed versions. In fact, you'd probably have a hard time finding legal games to import and play on this device. But despite this, the maps for the levels were almost the same, and like I thought, my timing's actually getting a little bit better as I play more and more on the X7. Visually though, the graphics are no comparison. Even though they're both the 1985 version of the same game, the Switch's graphics were way more crisp. It's like the Switch's version is more of an ode to the 80s, and the X7 is literally playing an actual 80s Nintendo cartridge. So after playing with the X7 Plus from Wish, I have some thoughts, just a few thoughts. Going into this, I will say that I had like zero expectations. But that being said, I was actually pretty impressed. They followed through with quick shipping and, the device turned on. I mean, it's the bare minimum for me, but still. If we're talking about the 80s games overall, it wasn't really that bad for the price. The game didn't really glitch out when I was playing, and I think it's pretty cool that something this cheap can plug into a TV or a monitor. Being able to store ebooks, music, and movies is also pretty cool for something at this price point. But that being said, there's definitely some cons. For one, the box made it seem like the game's quality was going to be on par with the Switch, but for a device that can only support 128-bit gaming, the box really didn't deliver. And while the console does have the ability to hook up to a TV, the cable that it came with was so short that I had to actually hunch over the back of my television set just to play it. I was able to hook it up to an HDMI converter to extend the cable a little bit, but still. Another big issue for me was the battery life. I had charged it all night and then left it alone for 7 hours, went to go play, and the battery was dead in like an hour and a half of gameplay. Overall, is the X7 Plus at all comparable to the Switch? Absolutely not. She is not in the same caliber. However, is this console still pretty cool and fun at its given price point? Yes. I'm still gonna end up buying the actual Switch, but the X7 Plus will keep me occupied until it's time to buy the real thing.